This is the first time joining me, my name is Mel from Team U Finance, where we talk about all things money. All right, and once you get on the live, please let me know where you're joining me from. Let you know a little bit about me once I see some people get on the live. Right, so for today's topic, I want to talk about, you know, basically shopping around when it comes to spending my money, or you when shopping when it comes to spending your money. So, many times as consumers, we tend to take the first deal that we get. What does that mean? Like you go in a store and you try to buy something and it's like if they tell you a certain price, you just go with it. You be like, okay, I'll take it. It's like you don't do no research, you don't ask anybody about it, you don't compare prices. In other words, you don't coupon, you don't really do anything. You just decide that, okay, you know what, I'm gonna just take my first purchase. Not good. Um, Now, I mean, I wasn't always this wise when it comes to shopping around that money. And again, I'm in my 40s, so I've spent a little bit of money and I understand how money works. So, I'm gonna tell y'all a story time. And this was years ago. I remember when I was buying my first car. Yep, it was my first ride. I was super excited. I'm gonna have my own car. I don't have to take the bus anymore. I don't have to wait on nobody to drop me anywhere. All of a sudden, I go in there, I sign my papers, I look at all the cars, I did my test drive, and I'm ready to take my car out the lot. Funny enough, the day before I was about to move the car out the lot, to finalize the deal, pick up my keys, whatever, I was telling a friend of mine, I told her, I said, listen, I just, bought a car. I'm in the process of buying a car. And she asked me, she was like, what in she said, what interest rate do you have? Like, what you gonna be paying each month? She's like, I'm getting your business. I was like, it's okay. So I told her the interest rate and I told her what my payment was gonna be. And she was like, your credit is decent from what you're telling me. So I don't understand why, you're gonna be paying that much while your interest rate seems a little bit high. And I said to her, I don't know, that's just the deal that I got. Again, I don't care what this girl's telling me. I just want to get my, my car get out the lot. All right, if this is the first time you're joining me, you could tell me where you logging in from. Hello, Tate77. Nice to meet you. Today we're talking about, shopping around, getting the best for our money. And I was literally just telling a story about the first time I was buying a car and how I almost ended up, getting a bad deal. But what I was saying is, after, speaking with my friend and she told me to go back and compare rates, I decided to shop around a little bit. So I ended up going to another dealership. And when I went to the other dealership and, they ran my credit profile, whatever this, that, and the third, they ended up saying that they was going to give me a better rate for my car. Well, of course, I didn't return to the other dealership. I literally canceled the deal, right? I canceled the deal because if the other dealership was going to give me, a better interest rate and I would save money, why would I want to go back there and waste, my money? So the point I was trying to make with you is that I was blessed that the other girl, my friend, told me to shop around. And this was over 20 something years ago, right? 20 something years ago. But while those 20 years ago, people are still buying stuff, people are still purchasing. It doesn't have to be a car, it could be anything, right? It doesn't matter what it is, you still got to shop or you got to get the best for your dollars. I don't care if you're buying a pair of sneakers. You're gonna compare stores, right? You're gonna compare and see who has a better deal. If the latest sneakers are out, who's selling it for a better price? You're not just gonna stop at the first store and just buy that first purchase. All right. So Uchenna says, how has this experience changed you as a whole? Well, that's a good question. I'm wiser now. Again, I have a day job. I work too hard for my money. I can't waste my money. All the miles I got to clock into work and then just to throw my money out the window, it doesn't make any sense. So what I do to this day is that, I still compare prices. I still shop around. I do simple little things like couponing. I see who has the better deal. And, I think it's kind of good because with like merchants or stores or anywhere, it doesn't matter what you're buying, competition is good. Competition teaches people, basically how to shop around. And it also teaches, the merchant, the person that you're buying from, it teaches them how to like basically level up their business. When a merchant knows that, or they know that there's other people competing for your business, they're going to do the best they can to give you the best deal. But if it's just one person or just one shop, they don't really need to up their services. They could do whatever they want to do. It doesn't matter. But you always want to go to a place where they're going to compete. All right. Competition helps you when you're making your purchases. So that's what it is. Now, something else that I wanted to address other than shopping around and getting the best for your dollar. I also wanted to talk about just, basically building credit. And this is, really for, the folks that are just up and coming. I don't care if you're 18, 19, 20, whatever the age, 30s, 40s. You need to basically have, good credit. You got to have good credit to buy the things that you want to buy. Again, let's say, like I used the example before, you wanted to buy your first car and you don't have good credit. You're not going to get a good deal. How do we start with our credit? How do we get our credit, to go higher? How do we get our credit to start? In one of my previous videos, I talked about people, getting, secured credit cards from banks. I talked about building relationships with banks. You can get your secure credit card. And the question is, how do I get my secure credit card? It's actually very easy. You got your little part-time job, you got a little bit of money saved. All you gotta do is just literally go online and apply. Or you can go to a branch if you want to. Everybody's different. Go and apply. Once you go and apply, they'll tell you how much you gotta put down for the secure credit card. So in most instances, I remember because I've had a secure credit card before. In most instances, the bank would probably require you to put anywhere from $200 to $500 down. Now, that's why it's called a secure credit card because you're the one that's securing the credit. You're the one that's putting your money up. But the good thing is that once you secure that credit card, you're going to be able to use it each month as a regular credit card. So, what most banks do is that they allow you to graduate, and the graduation is usually a year after. But here's the thing, just think about it. It's like when you were in high school, right? You got to work to graduate after the 4 years. For that 1 year that you get the credit card, that you have that secure credit card, you got to work to graduate. So, what does it mean when you work to graduate? If you use the credit card each month, preferably up to 10% of the credit card each month, because you want to keep your utilization as low as possible. Once you do that, you make sure that you pay your balance every month. Me personally, I pay my balance in full, right? So if I have, let's say, a $500 secure credit limit and I ended up using $50 for the month, I'm gonna try to pay that $50 each month because here's the thing, like I'm building, right? I'm building my credit score, making a relationship with the bank, and showing financial responsibility. And again, I know in the long run that once I build that credit score up, it's gonna allow me to purchase the things that I really want to purchase. Because let me tell you, um, in the end, when you actually become an adult and you want to do things, um, it's all about your credit. It's about your credit score. Yes, you can always go in the store with your good old cash and so forth, but most major purchases that you want to make or you want to accomplish has to do with your credit. So it's always a good idea to try to build your credit from a young age or at a substantial time in your life so you can, get the buying part to get the things that you want to get. That's how credit really works. So, once you've graduated, what does that mean? That you've shown the bank that, you did good for that first year. You made all your purchases and paid back in time. You didn't let the bank kill you with the interest rate because they do give you an interest rate. And that's the thing. If you let that balance linger on each month, you end up paying more interest than you had to had you paid your balance off from the beginning. Now that you've had the credit card for a while, preferably up to a year, and you've been paying it off, the bank now is going to allow you to graduate. And when they graduate, what does that mean? They'll often say, okay, listen, you've been paying well, you've done good. We're going to give you back your money. We're going to refund your money. And once we refund your money, now you have a regular line of credit with us. So, in other words, um, the bank essentially borrowed your money, or you funded your own credit at first. And now that you've shown the bank that you did good, they think you're credit worthy, where you don't have to leave your money there for the secure credit card. It's going to be actually the bank's money that you're using now to keep establishing your credit. And the plus about it is that the bank, ends up, giving you monthly, or, every couple of months credit increases. So after you graduated, even if you were just at $500 and you continue on your good track record, within like another year, you might be up to maybe $1,000 or $2,000 credit, limit increase. And you want to grow your credit. You know what I mean? You want to keep it as high as as possible. You want to have enough spending power, enough money that you could leverage when you want to really make great purchases. Those are just some of the things that you can definitely do once you have that card. Once you start building credit. All right, people. Anything else that you want me to talk about? Anything that resonates with you? Right. Okay. If this is the first time you're joining me, my name is Mel. This is Team U Finance. We talk about all things finance. We talk about leveling up our money. We talk about growing, and we talk about basically how to preserve our wealth, how to keep our money flowing. Another thing that we also talk about on this channel is basically self motivation. Okay. We talk about self motivation. We talk about, staying away from things or places or forces that, distract us from leveling up our money. That's also a big thing. Another previous video that I did was when I talk about that when you finally decide that you want to level up your money and you want things to go good, you got to kind of, I'm not going to really say isolate yourself, but I always talk about, basically moving in silence, doing things on your level at your own accord. Right. We get everything that we have to get in order, because the worst thing is that, when you're trying to do something and, there's no support, or, you're having distractions, things tend to go a little bit haywire. So, we want to try our best to, move in silence when we're trying to level up our money. If anybody could comment, just let me know like where you've logged on from, where you are. Are you local? Are you in the United States? Are you abroad? Just anywhere, any input, so I can know exactly, where it is that you're logging on from. It'd be really great information to know. Right. Right. I'm here in the continental United States. That's where I am, on the North Coast. Anybody else? Right. Now, again, another topic that I wanted to talk about was, basically long-term savings, saving for the long term, saving for a while. Okay, so what do I mean by long-term savings? So, a great account that I found when it comes to saving is, having a high yield savings account. Those accounts are wonderful. Okay, they're different from the regular bank accounts because you end up getting a higher interest rate than the regular bank. So, for example, a bank might give you like what point, 33% or 1.01%. I don't know, because I don't save my money in regular banks. Doesn't benefit or profit me in any way, shape, or form. But if you end up saving your money in something called a high yield savings account, HYSA, with an account like that, you can get anything from 4% on up. You're looking at anything from 3.75% up to 5%. Now I don't specifically know which banks are giving up to the 5%, but if all you have to do is just go online and Google and literally put um, high yield savings accounts or HYSAs. Once you put those in, it will basically tell you what banks are offering a higher interest rate, at least up to 4%. So let's talk a little bit about the high yield savings accounts. So for the high yield savings accounts, what it is, it's an interest bearing account where you're getting like a higher percentage for your money. Okay. Most of these banks that offer high yield savings accounts, they don't really tend to be your regular brick and mortar bank. For example, like you won't go into like a Bank of America and be getting, 4% on a savings account. Now, if you're to Google and you might find like a Wealthfront, or you might find somewhere like a Moomoo, like a brokerage, they're going to give you like a higher percentage rate, like 4% and higher. Those are the high yield savings accounts. And so what it is, let's say you put like maybe like 10 grand in your savings, or each month you're having a certain amount of money go. Each month you're earning a higher interest on that. You have people that are like earning like $400 or $500 a month in interest. And of course, they're not earning $400 or $500 a month um interest on, having $200 in the bank. They're earning a lot of money, they're earning a lot of money because they're having like a large sum of money. But the bottom line is that if you have your money in the bank, you'd want to get the highest interest rate as possible. You don't want to just have your money sitting there. Um, Gone are the days when people didn't, you know, earn anything for their money. Everybody wants the best for their money. Everybody wants to see exactly what they can gain. So, that's my take. I think the best thing to do, which I've been doing myself, is actually saving my money in the high yield savings accounts. At least I know that I'm getting, something for, my dollar. I'm getting something for my money. Like there's value in my money. And just I had mentioned before about competition, these high yield savings accounts, when you research them, you might have one bank that's giving you 3.75%, 3.75. You might have another bank that's giving you 3.85. You have a bank that's giving you 4.5%. You also have a bank that's giving you, almost 5%. And if you're lucky, you do your research, you might have a bank that actually ends up giving you 5%. So you really have to research and see how you want to, spend your money. Um, Another instance is that if you also decide to invest in high yield savings accounts, right? You want to, of course, obviously go with the ones that are going to give you the higher percentage rate, and you want to look and read the fine print, see what they require. Some of them might have a specific amount that they require you to open the account, right? Some might require you just to, not even put anything down, but just to literally have your money transferred over. So again, in this day and age, a lot of people literally just have their money sent over, like when they get paid, or they could have their banks make automatic deposits each month. It's up to you, as long as you open a high yield savings account. Like there's so many ways to, basically, save your money and gain interest on your money rather than just throwing your money away. A few that I mentioned, I said before, when we first started live, I said you got to shop around with your money. Other than shopping around, when you decide to live with your money, you got to be careful of, or the circle that you're around. If you're trying to do certain things and you're around people that are negative or people that are not good influences, it's going to distract you from doing what you need to do. So you got to kind of move in silence, know your circle. And the other one that I'm talking about, is the high yield savings accounts. Now that you're leveling up, you're moving in silence, you're doing what you need to do, you've already established your credit. Now you're literally, putting your money away. You're letting that money build for you each month. You're not just sitting there not earning anything for your money. So those are just some ways that you could, definitely make your money, where you could definitely grow. It's not a bad thing to save your money. It's always good. Um, Tate77, thank you for joining me. Hello. If you guys could just let me know where you're logging on from today, that'll really be great. Okay, again, as I said, I'm in the continental US on the East Coast. Just checking in with everybody. If you haven't, subscribed to the channel or the information resonates with you, please consider liking, subscribing, and share. It'll really help to get the content across. And, just anybody who, wants to get a few tips about, how to make their money work for them. I always say that money is not something that people discuss publicly. People are very private about their money. People are private about how they spend their money. They're private about how they share their money. They're private about the investments that they make. But at the end of the day, everybody needs a dollar to live. So you want to try your best to, invest somewhere and let your money work for you. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that they would like to share? Right. Okay. Let me see. Space Player said name and car for an edit. I don't know if you're talking about a car that I like or types of cars that I like. Um, anything is good. Whatever. Again, that's a personal opinion. You have to kind of, invest your money in the vehicle that you think or the car that you think is good for you. Right. I'm not really sure what your preference is. Right. I'm not really sure what your preference is. Anyway, people, so as I said before, please comment, like, subscribe, and share. Hope you enjoyed the information. It was good chatting with you. Had a wonderful, wonderful time. Again, this is Mel from Team U Finance. Have a wonderful day.